Oh, what up? How you guys doing out there today? This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here to present you my NBA morning shoot around from Monday, November 25th. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all my NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. If you haven't come and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily Fanduel and Draftkings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure to check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. So we got a big slate today. There's some injuries that we're waiting on, some stuff we already kind of know. Today should be a pretty fun slate. Definitely a lot of money out there to be made. So let's jump into it real quick. Before we do, though, if you guys don't mind, please take a quick second, click the like button down below. Helps me out. Really appreciate that from you guys. And yeah, let's go. So we'll start at point guard. We have some injuries at the point guard spot. I definitely think there's some value, some good value plays out there. We'll start at the top though. A couple guys, if you do want to pay up, I think you could definitely pay up for a guy like Trae Young. Going against Minnesota, you can pay up for Damian Lillard going against a young Chicago team. That game should be pretty up and down. So I definitely think that if you want to pay up, you can start, like I said, with Trae Young and Lillard. For me, they're both a little bit more GPP plays. There's some definite value here that I want to take advantage of at the point guard spot. So, we'll just kind of work our way down. We'll start going through it. First thing first, somebody that I think we can look at, I think we'll start with Marcus Smart and Jeff Teague. They're right there about the same price. Marcus Smart's looking like Kemba Walker's going to be out. He is listed as doubtful. So, I definitely think this is an uptick for Marcus Smart. He's going to get some point guard duties. He's already a guy that plays, a decent amount of minutes, and he always is the main guy that gets a bump when somebody's out. They like him on the floor. So 6,400 going against Sacramento, I think a Marcus Smart is a really, really good play, especially if he's going to get the starting role at the point guard spot, which I possibly think is very, very possible. I like Marcus Smart. I also like Jeff Teague at 6,100 going against Atlanta. It should be a very up-tempo game, back and forth, him going against Trae Young, them just kind of attacking each other. So I like Jeff Teague. I definitely think Jeff Teague is more of a GPP play versus Marcus Smart's a little bit more of a cash game play. Nonetheless, both guys in solid spots. Really like Marcus Smart today if Kemba does end up getting rolled out. Just want to make that very, very clear. Then we got a couple more guys. A guy like in the mid tier. I think we can look at Markel Fultz at 5,000. The guys, I wish he was playing a little bit more minutes. Don't get me wrong. I wish he was minutes for, low 30s, etc. He's playing around, 25, 26 minutes a game. The most minutes that he's played all year last game of 28 minutes, though. Definitely filled up the stat sheet, does a little bit of everything. GPP play for me just because, like I said, the minutes aren't necessarily there. But he is a guy that I do like on today's slate, somebody that we can really consider. Then, we'll go to the value guy. I think this guy's probably going to be pretty high owned. If Kemba Walker does end up getting ruled out, you got Brad Wanamaker. His minutes have already been up the past 3 games. He's playing 29, 27, 26 minutes, and he does a little bit of everything. He fills up the stat sheet a little bit, plays a little bit of defense. He's the guy that, like I said, if Walker ends up being out, you can definitely go with Brad Wanamaker. And there's a point to be made where you can even go Marcus Smart, Wanamaker in your point guard spots and just kind of move on. If Kemba's out, there's going to be those kind of minutes left on the board for these couple Celtics guys, and I think those two are the biggest beneficiaries. Moving on, we're going to go to shooting guard. There's a couple of spots we could pay up for. Definitely spots we could pay down. A couple of guys I'll start with. Me personally, I'm going to start with Spencer Dinwiddie. With Kyrie being out, Dinwiddie's been the one that's kind of filled that void. The minutes have definitely been up, and the production has really, really been there. Spencer Dinwiddie's been a guy the past couple of years. Whenever he got the opportunity, the guy definitely performed. He scored at least 20 points in 5 straight games. Getting you 7, 8 assists, couple rebounds, couple steals. 7,800 for Dinwiddie. I think is a really, it's a fair price tag. I'm not going to say it's a good price tag. Obviously, I wish it would be a little bit lower, but I definitely think it is a fair price tag for him. Then you look at Van Fleet. Van Fleet has been stepping in the void for Kyle Lowry, playing a ton of minutes. I mean, 3 of his past 6 games, the guy's played at least 40 minutes, and he scored at least 24 points in 4 of the past 5. So he's scoring the ball well, giving you a solid floor, plus dishing out some dimes, etc. He's a really good defender, so he gets you some steals, basically at least one a game. And he definitely has some upside. You see against Charlotte, he had 5 steals. The guy he's a good defender, man, is what it comes down to. I definitely think that Van Fleet and Spencer Dinwiddie, basically the same price. Both of them are very, very good plays with the opportunity they're kind of being put in right now. So I definitely like those guys. One more guy at 7,000. Nobody's going to own. I'll just quickly throw out there the GPP play. I definitely think Gilgeous-Alexander is a guy that you can look at against the Warriors. The minutes have been there. He's scoring the ball. He's doing a little bit of everything. So definitely gives us some upside. Strictly a GPP play. If I could pay up $700 more for Van Fleet or $800 more for Dinwiddie, I probably would go that route. But I think he is a GPP player that's going to be a little bit lower owned. Then we'll go to some value, man. There's definitely some value out there. At 4,200, there's a couple guys I'm liking. First, Duncan Robinson at 4,200. He's been playing minutes. He's got at least 30 minutes in 3 straight games now. Don't get me wrong, nothing special. But, he scored 29 points against Cleveland, so he's showing he does, have the ability to score the ball. He does this a little bit of everything. 4,200, all you need is 21 for value. If he's going to play minutes, I definitely think that you can look at him. Obviously, probably a little bit more of a GPP play just because the production has been up and down. But he's a guy on the lower end we can look at. Same thing, Layson Galloway. I like him as well. He's a guy that we can really look at. In 3 of the past 4 games, he's played 37 minutes. I mean, it's crazy. He scored the ball very well against Charlotte. Probably a little bit more of a GPP play as well, just like Robinson. But I mean, I like the minutes that Galloway's getting. If I had to choose between him or Robinson, kind of as a value play, for cash, I probably would go Layson Galloway. I just feel a little bit more comfortable with him, but nonetheless, like I said, both those guys at 4,200 in solid spots right there. The only other guy I think that we look at in the value, I think we can look at Jordan Clarkson. He's a guy, he got 31 minutes last game, and it's all about minutes with Clarkson. I'm a Lakers fan, and I played him a lot when he was with the Lakers. He would be the first guy off the bench and kind of play the 1 and the 2 backup role. He definitely can score the ball. The 28 points he had against Portland, it isn't a fluke. He's a guy really that can score the ball. So I think Clarkson's another guy that we could possibly look at. As another kind of guy in the little bit lower tier shooting guard spots. Then we'll go to small forward. I mean, it's pretty obvious. There's a couple guys that you can look at. Antetokounmpo, LeBron, both guys are in play. You can really consider both guys. Both of these games should be fairly competitive. I definitely like him. I mean, Antetokounmpo, obviously, I think he gives you a little bit more of a floor than LeBron just because he's the man compared to LeBron and Anthony Davis kind of feed off each other. So I would give Antetokounmpo a bump a little bit. But he also is, 1,100 more. So both of these guys in play for sure. Then we'll kind of go to the mid tier. I think you can look at Jaylen Brown, especially if no Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, all these guys are going to get a bump. And we know that Jaylen Brown could really score the ball. He's definitely shown us that this year kind of grown in that aspect. 7,100, you need 35 for value. Think he's going to play the minutes, and I think the opportunity will be there with no Kemba Walker. So I think that Jaylen Brown is in a really, really good spot here against Sacramento. Jonathan Isaac at 7,000. He's probably a little bit more of the GPP version of Jaylen Brown. But, I mean, the guy's showing some massive upside, 47, 55 in the past 2 games. With no Gordon, with no Vucevic, you're asking this guy to step up and do more. And he's definitely been filling that void past couple games. I think he's a GPP play that you can look to kind of pivot away from Jaylen Brown. Probably be pretty low owned as well. A couple value guys I think we can look at. First I'll go with the mid-tier guy. I think that you can look at Danilo Gallinari against this Warrior team. 6,000, a very fair price tag. You need 30 for him to hit value. He's averaging 28 on the season. The minutes have been there too for the most part, playing right around 30 minutes. I think he's a really good mid-tier play. And then value-wise, I think a guy that we can look at on the lower tier of guys would be Cam Reddish. He is a game-time decision with the wrist injury, but it's looking like he's going to play. He's probable. I'm saying a hip injury, so my bad about that. Yeah, it's a wrist. Sorry, sprained left wrist. They got this messed up right here. But nonetheless, 4,100. If he's going to be in that starting role and he's going to play, 28 to 30 minutes, he's a guy. All you need is 20 for value. So I think that he would be a good play right there, kind of on the lower end. Power forward would go. There's a couple guys I already mentioned. You could just start at the top. Anthony Davis, anytime that he plays, he's a guy that we want to consider. I just don't know if I don't like paying up for LeBron and Anthony Davis at premium prices because they kind of take away from each other. But nonetheless, I mean, both guys are always basically going to be in play whenever they're on the slate because they do have that kind of upside. A couple guys I'm really going to start with that I like. I think you can look at Sabonis. Sabonis is he got the starting job this year, and he's been running with it. He's absolutely killing it, giving you a really solid floor. Has some upside as well. So Sabonis is in a solid spot here going against Memphis. You can also look at Bam, man. Bam is a guy, 8,800, giving you a really solid floor outside the game against Philadelphia, which it was a tough matchup. I mean, look at the floor that he's really giving you. I don't like to count on defensive stats for people, but when it comes to Bam, he's a guy that you can really count on his defensive stats because for the most part, he's going to get you a block or two. He's going to get you a steal or two. He's just long and lengthy. So I like him. I like him. I like Sabonis. I think both of those guys are in really, really good spots tonight. Then we'll work our way down. Actually, real quick before I go down to the mid tier, Jason Tatum. I talked about these Boston guys. They're all going to have to step up with if Kemba Walker doesn't play. Jason Tatum's a guy that I like at 8,200. He's giving you a solid floor, averaging 37 fantasy points a game as it is. And with no Kemba Walker, they're going to need scoring. I think it's going to be Tatum. It's going to be Brown. Also Marcus Smart. They'll all have to take some extra shots. So definitely, Tatum, solid spot here. Then we'll kind of go a little bit more towards the mid tier. I think that you can look at Jabari Parker going against Minnesota. Since taking over the starting job, with Collins being suspended, Jabari Parker's been playing well, man. I do wish that he would get more consistent minutes. The minutes have kind of been up and down, but the guy can really score the ball. He really has some upside. At 6,900, I think that he's a really, really good play here. Probably a little bit more of a GPP play. I would say that just because the minutes have been over the place, but I like him. Definitely. And then, $100 less, Draymond, game time decision with the heel. He is questionable. If Draymond does play and he's going to play, 30-plus minutes, then I think you can really look at him. 6,800, a very fair price tag. And I think against OKC, this is a game that could be very competitive for the Warriors. Some games they're just going to get their butts kicked against better teams. But a team like OKC that's kind of having their ups and downs this season as well. I like Draymond if he plays. I think that he's in a solid spot to have a fairly good game here. Then we're gonna go a couple more guys I'll quickly mention. So I like Draymond. I talked about him. A couple more we will look at. I think Rashawn Holmes at 6,200. The guy's playing, good minutes, double machine right here. Get you some blocks as well. He's probably a little bit more of a GBP play, but I like him though. I think he's in a solid spot here to have a fairly good game going against Boston, who's probably going to play pretty small in this game. And then you got Eric Paschall. I think he's a good play at 6,000, giving you a solid floor. He's playing minutes for the most part, playing right around 30 minutes a game. If Draymond is out, I think Paschall gets a little bit of a bump just because they're going to need him to play a little bit more minutes. But even if Draymond's in, I think that he's in a solid spot here. I mean, he's hey, young guy, go kind of handle yours and show us what you got is what the Warriors are really telling him. So he has some upside. I think that he's a guy definitely that we could consider on this slate. Not too many really value plays that I'm liking, on the lower end of power forward. I think there's good value at other spots. At the top, we'll go to center. I think that you could look at Karl-Anthony Towns going against Atlanta. I think this is a spot where he can definitely feast. Joel Embiid as well, going against Toronto. I think this is a pretty good spot for Joel Embiid. It's a fair price tag, a 10.2. He's giving you a pretty solid floor. So I think that Joel Embiid, he's a guy that if you want to pay up, you could definitely look to pay up for him. So we'll kind of go to the mid tier. I think that you can look at Wendell Carter, been playing very well. The young guy's he's a GPP play definitely because the production has been up and down, but the upside's there at a 7,000 price tag. You need 35, and he does have 45 fantasy point upside, so he's a good GPP play on today's slate. Then there's a couple of value guys I think we can look at. I'll quickly just throw out there. Drummond, I think he's in a good spot against Orlando. This is a good spot for him to eat, especially with no Vucevic out. I like him. Then value-wise, before we get to value-wise, I think Steven Adams at 5,600. I think it's a fair price tag for him. In 3 of the past 4 games, he's got you at least 29. Playing the minutes somewhat for the most part. I think that, you can look at Steven Adams and in the mid-tier. It feel pretty comfortable. He's going to get you at least 5x on this price tag. It's a pretty cheap price tag for him. Then we got the value, man. The value guy, probably going to be pretty owned, is going to be Jacob Podol. I think, going against the Lakers, past 3 games, he's played 26, 24, 23. Got you a double-double against New York. And, all you need on this price tag, all you need is about, about 20 for value. And he's got you 24, 23, 27 in the past 3 games. So I think he's a really good premier value play if you want to pay down at center and pay up elsewhere. So that's really where I'm at with this video. If you want a more in-depth analysis on today's slate, make sure to check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. And then good luck on your guys' contest, all right? Peace out.